Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have an album review for CEREBRAL EFFUSION's IDOLATRY of the UNETHICAL. If you don't know CEREBRAL EFFUSION, really killer brutal death metal from Spain, I believe. They've been around since the late 90s. This is their newest release, came out in 2014. Not the biggest discography. I know they're most well known for their 2010 album. I think it's called like Impulsive Psychopathic Acts, I think is the name of it. Really good shit. So they're still going strong. I'd say this is definitely one of their best releases for being their newest release, which is pretty impressive for a band that's been around that long, even though they don't have the biggest body of work. But this was put out through New Standard Elite, which I just want to talk about New Standard Elite for a second. Probably the best brutal death metal label out right now. If you like crazy, raw, blast beat filled type of shit like Disgorge, Putridity, there are so many great fucking releases and bands on here, both new and old. So if you don't know about New Standard Elite and you're into brutal death metal, I'd highly recommend just like pause this video and go listen to their shit, like all the stuff that's on the label. Not everything literally, but you know, they have a lot of good stuff on there, and pretty much anything you listen to on there will probably be really good. But yeah, it's been on a real kick for them lately, that label. But anyways, this is like this fits in pretty well with most of the New Standard Elite stuff. Really blast beat filled, technical brutal death metal. Kind of a pingy snare on here, but I'll talk about it in the production. It's not that big of a deal on here if you're not a fan of pingy snares. I like ridiculous crank snares, but if you don't like that, then this won't hold you back from this album. However, I would only really recommend this album to fans of people who are already really into brutal death metal, because if you're not, you'll probably just listen to this once and forget about it. But if you're really into that technical style of brutal death metal, then you'll probably find a lot to enjoy with this. Even though it may not be the most memorable album, it's really damn good. Pretty sweet album cover, nothing super special. A lot of newer brutal death metal bands have this kind of stuff where it's like color scheme, some sort of scenery, but it's not anything particularly shocking or offensive, but I don't know, better than a generic like 2000 Slam like gore cover. But anyways, really cool album though, like I already said. It's pretty short. There's only 7 songs on here, but they're all pretty decent length. I believe they're all reach around like 4 to 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, here's the disc. Pretty cool. I don't think there's really anything behind the disc. It just, whoops, has the album title behind the spine right there. For me to read all the song titles, you've got Exposed to Abjection, Narcissistic Taphonomy, a lot of big words in these song titles. Unscrupulous, Inebriated, Immaculation, Consummation, that's the shortest song title on here. Lingering Pulsive Laceration, Terminally Decimating Neurogenesis, and Deflammatory Fetish. Defamatory Fetish. Get the booklet out. Just like lyrics, and I think there's like a band photo in here. Pretty simple. But yeah, if you're a fan of Putridity, although this is nowhere near as fast as Putridity, or Disgorge, you'll like this. The riffs, you know, there's a lot of those technical fast riffs, not like shreddy, flashy, sweepy kind of technical riffs, but like, you know, those riffs that sync up with the blast beats. There's a lot of those on here, and there's also a lot of chugs, but they don't. You have to kind of work to really figure them out. Like you'll hear them, they're not like as technical as a band like Defeated Sanity or something, whereas like you won't remember how the slam goes, but they're a little bit buried within the songs. The song doesn't like break into a groove or anything. The song's tempos are always really consistent, although there's a few grooves that kind of stand out here. A lot of, you know, riffs with a lot of pinch harmonics, really chuggy shit. The vocals are probably my least favorite thing about this album, honestly. They're not bad vocals, they're cool and all, but there's not a lot of like grit and aggression put into them. They're low and gurgly, but they're not really that punchy, and I don't know, there's a few moments where they can almost kind of sound kind of goofy, like in, I think it's the first song on here, Exposed to Abjection. There's one part where the vocals sound a little funky to me, but I don't know, other than that, all the vocals on here are still pretty good. They're just not my favorite kind of vocals. I prefer my brutal death metal vocals to still be as low as this, but if not lower, but more, have more like aggression and like just kind of that oomph into them, whereas on here they're just kind of there. Everything else on here is, I'm not saying the vocals are bad, by the way, but everything else on here is fucking fantastic, though. The bass tone is fantastic, really smooth, really, like, it shines through the mix very well and melds with the scooped, chunky guitars, really good. and just creates this really smooth, satisfying, kind of modern sounding wall of sound. This has like the perfect production for modern brutal death metal in my opinion. It's still scooped, it still has a pingy raw snare, it's still got a lot of grit to it, but it's clean, it gets smooth, but still brutal as fuck. It's not overproduced or sterile, there's still so much life to this. And the production on this is really just fantastic. I mean, if you play this through a good stereo or a good bassy set of headphones, it'll sound fantastic. I was going to say the drums on here, there is a kind of pingy snare, but it's a little lower in the mix, so it's not super sharp on your ears, so you barely even notice it unless there's like, I don't know, the part where the drums particularly shine. The kicks on here sound cool, they're pretty like clicky. I don't know, the production on here I really enjoy. All the songs, I wouldn't say they're really that memorable, but they're good. I'd say the best song, though, is definitely the first song, Exposed to Abjection. Terminally Decimating Neurogenesis is another really good one, though. There's a really sick like drum fill in there that I really like. Exposed to Abjection has this really awesome kind of pinch harmonic-y riff that just really sticks in your head. It's one of the only like really like super memorable moments on this album. The rest of it kind of blends together. I mean, I know that this style, you really need to listen to it a lot in order to fully remember it and understand how it goes. But the song structure on here just isn't super memorable, but it's still very good. It's just they're not the most well-crafted songs. There's not a lot of really particularly memorable moments. But it still kills. If you just want like a half-hour-long killer brutal death metal album, you'll still really like this. I don't know. I don't listen to this that often, but when I do, it sounds really good. Like I said, the production on this thing is killer. You know, just awesome blast beats. Love the drum sound on here. It's brutal as fuck, but it's not the most memorable thing ever, like I already said. There isn't really that much I could say for this kind of album as far as reviewing it. This video is already around like 7 minutes long, but if you're into like Consume the Forsaken era Disgorge, Putridity, maybe Gorgasm. There's a few kind of Gorgasm-y, like kind of start-stop moments on here that I really like. Then you'll like this. If you're not really a fan of brutal death metal, or you're just a casual fan of the genre, maybe kind of skip over this one, but it's still really damn good. I think I would give this a 7 out of 10. It sounds fantastic. The songs are pretty good, but they're not the most memorable ever. But overall, solid release from Cerebral Effusion. Really cool band from Spain. And I'd recommend that you check them out if you're into that kind of stuff, because I'm really heavily into the blast beat oriented style of brutal death metal. I mean, I'm wearing a fucking Discord shirt in like almost every video, it seems. And I own a lot of that stuff on CD, and I don't know, it's a really interesting style of death metal, and if you're really into that, then you'll probably really like this. I like it quite a bit, but like I said, it's not a really frequent listen for me. But yeah, so that's it for this video though, just a quick little review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.